Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and we're going to be doing an Empire Total War massive battle. This is going to be interesting in the sense that we had a little hiccup when we were trying to get the battle going. It was supposed to be a 3 versus 3, and we were waiting for the third player on my team to get ready. So everyone hit ready up, and the game threw us into the battle before the last player on our team joined. So we have an interesting battle, but holy crap, look at that shit. I have never seen a gun like that. That is so cool. Anyways, yeah, we ended up with a 3 versus 2. So I'm like, oh, okay. Because what I decided to do for this battle is there were no rules. So I'm like, oh, no rules, huh? Let's go ahead and try some of these ridiculous Ottoman weapons. So the one you just saw fire that was like a bazillion cannon shots at once is actually going to be named the organ gun. Take a look at this. It has, 6 chambers for each gun multiplied by 4. We're gonna get 24 shots out of this guy. That is intense. So I figured, this is good. If our opponents are gonna come to us, so be it. I have the artillery to back it up, plus a 64-pounder heavy artillery. These guys are fixed, so you can't move them. They're fixed to where they are at the deployment. But I don't intend to be on the assault for a 3 versus 2 just yet. This guy's been told to hold fire because after the devastating fire I saw on that guy, I'm like, I don't want that to friendly fire any of my guys, so I'm going to reserve judgment for when he's going to shoot. This guy, on the other hand, can start to get some shots off. We'll see if it hits anything. Not really. Oh, lucky shot bouncing over and killing one guy. Anyways, the enemy army composition is going to be basically a lot of Union Jacks. 2 forces of Great Britain on either flank, and then a Prussian force in the center. This force here is not really going to be committing itself too much. He's mostly going to allow his 4-inch mortar batteries to do damage, and then he's slowly going to creep up on my flank, which is to our advantage. Prussian player in the center is going to slowly move up to capture the hill. Jaeger's leading the right side. He's cautiously moving up into the woods here. And then they have 24-pounder horse artillery. Actually going to start shelling my extreme positions in the front with quicklime. I'm sort of deftly dodging those as much as I can. Some more volleys coming into our guys. Could be potentially very devastating, but for the time being we're okay. And I'm counter-targeting with my own artillery, and it looks like it's actually being able to hit some of these Uhlans. Over on this flank, more heavy artillery slowly moving up. Our opponents are being rather cautious in the approach. They did, however, move a lot of their artillery up close to try and shock us. Move up here, and then they're going to fire a bunch of shots, canister shots straight into our guys. But the range did not work out for them. They should have had a little bit more range. I'm not quite sure why they sent this force out unsupported. But my Russian ally is going to charge forward with his Jaegers between the volleys, and he's going to quickly destroy these guys. Actually, if I were him, I would shoot. Yeah, you better shoot, because these guys are going to get their volleys off soon. So there you go. Devastating fire of the Russian forces as they start to line up. And, oh, these guys were about to start to fire. So good thing he got his volleys off. And there you go. He's going to rout the entire crew right there. So nice little pickup for us. It means the 3 versus 2 battle scenario that we were facing before is not going to be as bad as we thought. I've gone ahead and I've moved up sort of my cheap forces. I have my Nizami Jadid guys, and what I decided to do was stake up a lot of positions, just because, as I've shown you in previous battles, the stakes actually help prevent some bullets from getting through, so I feel a little safe, and the more I can delay the fight, the better. It means that my artillery can do work. Moving my Nizami Jadid over to this flank to try and pick off some of his superior line infantry. And it looks like some shots are going to go into the Prussian Jaegers. So now I'm going to start to fire with my organ gun. Straight into this formation. It looks like it missed some of its shots. I mean, it looks beautiful, but it's actually not that great unless you're fighting against larger clump targets like cavalry. But I figured, might as well bring some of these guys. It looks freaking epic when this guy shoots. So I'm going to go with more efficient formations. I'm using these little small hills to block my guys. So I'm positioning my men here as sort of a tempting target for my opponent. I want his line to move up and shoot point blank into this hill and allow my more extreme range guys to pick him apart while he seemingly thinks he's going to be hitting my targets. He's moving up pretty heavily though, so I'm going to let him pull up a little further. Use immediately continuing to put on the pressure. I'm kind of doing the same thing over here, using the hill to anchor my right flank and then stakes to anchor the right, plus Palestinian auxiliaries in the rear. My Russian ally here just seems to be of the mind that no need to spread out in thin lines. Let's just go with the massive clumped assault with all our forces, which I guess kind of works. There goes another volley of my massive cannons, and again, it's not actually doing that much damage. You can see none of that. I killed one guy, but hell, it's spectacular. I will take it any day. If anything, it'll scare our opponents from moving straight up in that position. Now his guys, like I said, have to move up above this hill before they can even consider to shoot at my men. And by the time they do that, they're going to be facing multiple lines of men. And he's continuing to take fire from the flank. I have some mounted Nizami Jadid cavalry over here, just hidden to beat back his forces if I need to. Meanwhile, he's actually sending forward some of his guys. He sent forward his Uhlans to try and hit my men. So, good thing I staked up my position, so I'm slowly trying to pull these guys back. I don't know how they're going so slowly. I told them to run behind the stakes. So, pretty good hit on his part. He's going to get on out of there without too many losses. I did have Palestinian auxiliaries in the back, just to support my men. It looks like the Uhlans are going to launch an all-out assault. Seems like a lot of players in Empire lately have not been very skilled and have been just throwing their forces forward. So there you go. They're going to be eating the meat of our lines. But actually, they're going to get straight into my Nizami Jadid. If we don't break these guys, it looks like they're going to get a clean strike on my men. More of the regiment of horse coming into the fight. I'm trying to bait them into the stakes. I'm like, alright, come on, dude, bite. He's reining in his horses. He doesn't quite want to do it. The rest of the Russian line is moving forward to engage with those guys. And it looks like he is going to sort of fall for it. So there you go. Pretty good efficiency on my men. And pulling back to the Palestinians, who are then going to help clean up these forces. So we're doing a pretty good job holding out against 3 players. Again, it is only kind of one player bumbling his way through, and the other one as well holding back. So if they had done an all-out assault, we'd be faring much more poorly. But at this point, we were doing pretty well. I traded one Israeli for superior line infantry, which is basically a guard unit, so I'll take that trade. Meanwhile, I'm waiting to pounce perhaps on his 24-pounder foot artillery, but sensibly he sends some green jacks to screen them. I would have otherwise charged them, probably. I'm not going to get myself on the flank of his Prussian Jaegers. I'm going to have to fall back. This is going to be a game of just retreating. And now my organ gun is going to try and target his men. A lot of devastating fire coming through there. I think it clipped most of his guys, Prussian Jaegers, in the fight here. Yeah, I'm targeting those men. Trying to do damage. He is going to force the issue, however, on this front. So, more guys streaming in. I'm going to have to pull in my reserves of the Nizami Jadid infantry lines. So there you go. His men are going to form up. Are those superior line infantry, platoon firing into my Palestinian auxiliaries, plus grenadiers. He should be able to take me out. And that's why I have more guys in the back. Nizami Jadid rifles, and then line infantry in the back. Plus my organ gun, which should hopefully be able to fire soon. I really want to get more shots of this guy firing. All along the line, we're going to be engaging with the superior line infantry, which is trying to come to terms with my men. I charged my cavalry out the flank, just starting to wrap up his guys and try and tie them up. Some nice, beautiful shots into his general's bodyguard. He was really committing everything to that fight. And these guys do take a while to reload, so perhaps they're better suited for fighting against cities or defensive emplacements. Let's watch this. Oh, did you see that? You could see the cluster of cannonballs coming out. So I'm targeting this grenadier unit, and there you go. There it ripped through some of his men. This is slowly going to be chewing through my lines. But again, I'm kind of tossing out my weakest unit. So you can see his superior line infantry is trading with my Palestinian auxiliaries. I make sure those guys, the cheap guys, are in the center, and then I have my rifles and better units on the flanks to then, you know, chew through these lines. So there goes the Prussian force. Going to be forced to draw back after having taken, you know, minimal losses on my side. So I'm pretty happy with the outcome of this battle so far. Some of the enemy howitzers are going to be doing some damage, but not too much to worry about. Here comes the rest of this British force. Line infantry going to start moving up. I am, however, kind of secure in the fact that, you know, Russia may not have the best tactics, but it's going to take a while to wear out a line like this. And so that's why Great Britain seems to be tossing more my way. So I have to slowly lay down killing fields. At least I have riflemen here, which are going to be able to eat up some of the reinforcements. Palestinian auxiliaries actually still somehow alive at this point. And my light infantry over here doing work. Woo, I love seeing those shots. Meant to target these guys. It's warding them off, that's for sure. But yeah, I sent some Nimzijidit mounted rifles over there. So I'm just going to be waiting to launch an assault. You can see I have more over here. And I was hoping to attack these guys, but he staked up his position. A smart move. I would have assaulted those guys definitely with my cav. So we're going to have to wait to push over there. I'm actually going to start sending some men that way because I know I am wrapping up this front quickly. The rest of the Prussian forces are going to start to melt. As we've been seeing, I've been using pretty good tactics against them. Absorbing fire with cheap units and then just concentrating fire with more efficient rifles from a distance. They're still coming at me really strong. And here comes the force of Great Britain. He's going to try and tango with guard units now. Not the best use of forces. But nonetheless, let's watch a little bit of this. This will be cool. And sometimes you guys do ask me, how do you zoom in? Usually you just press Z for zoom, and it works on most Total War games. I think Medieval 2, that doesn't exist. But yeah, it allows you to get these really cool cinematics. I don't know the keystroke to get rid of the HUD in Empire, but in Rome and Attila, it's going to be as simple as pressing K. Let's get some shots of these guard units. I always think just the colors and the pageantry of these units look just brilliant. More forces firing up and down the line. And you can see the platoon fire again at work. Super effective, holy crap. So there you go. That is basically how we're going to beat the British line. They're going to be lining up in opposition to us. But, let's see, line infantry versus guards. Line infantry versus grenadiers. Cossack infantry is the only one that can probably beat. Prussians are going to be throwing their weight behind this, but as we've seen, it's kind of a lightweight. Over here, he's going to try and assault the main line. Not a good move, buddy. I mean, maybe he'll... I don't know. We'll see. I think generally the forces of Great Britain are better than the Russians, but quality doesn't mount too much against quantity in this case. When you have so many forces and they're all firing volleys at each other, yeah, you're not going to be able to hold out. Did he take these guys off of fire at will? They should be firing. Man, we've been having a lot of kind of new players play these older Total War games. It's kind of weird. You'd figure the veterans would be sticking around. But, yeah, they're getting pretty hard pressed at this point. They're going to start closing in on the enemy mortars, who can't do too much damage. And Cossack infantry are pretty weak. If Great Britain had any cavalry, he would throw it right into the Cossacks, punch through, take out these guys, start tearing sideways through the line, relieve these guys, put pressure, and then come sweeping up through the rest. But instead we get kind of this kind of an exchange. If anything, it's glorious. That's all I have to say with these massive battles. And I know you guys have asked, like, oh, hey, if you have terrible opponents, could you organize a way where we could all play with you? And I've been thinking about trying to get some community involvement in these games. The problem is with Total War, I kind of just play whenever it's convenient for me, and I never know when that's going to be, so it's a little more of a headache for me to try and organize anything. It's more like I'll hop on, and if a massive battle does happen, I'll join it. Maybe in the future we'll try and get coordinated events on weekends or something like that. We'll have to see. I don't really know what platform is best to coordinate those things. But yeah, for the time being, it's kind of just like you sort of have to run into me to play with me, which I've done a couple times. I've run into a fair amount of subscribers online. But not so often in these massive battles, actually, which is unfortunate. British forces are continuing to just collapse. So at this point, you kind of know the outcome of the battle. Oh, like I said, they charged through the Cossack infantry. That's the best place to punch through. combined might, pushing against the Russians. Riflemen, that's basically where you want to throw your guys, but they do have more riflemen in support. So I think at this point it's safe to say that this side of the battlefield is over. The fight for this side has only just begun though. So this is going to be basically a full army of Great Britain against my somewhat diminished force, and he has a pretty good defensive position. 24-pounder foot artillery lined up here against my guys. Rifles in the woods. This is where I'm going to take the opportunity to sack one of my Israelis. They're still fodder units, and I'm going to charge right into his flank, trying to disrupt this as much as possible. It seems to have worked. I'm going to follow that up with the repositioning of my infantry much closer. And now he's going to try and shuffle his men into position, but I'm just going to try and pull through with my cavalry. My intention is to then go and hit his artillery. And there's something going on with the colors here where everything looks like it's got bloom on it, but I'm not going to complain. It looks super beautiful. Let's watch some of these cool volleys coming in. And I say cool, they are tearing into my guys, unfortunately. I am a little bit at range, so he's not doing tremendous amounts of damage. And it looks like I've gotten my cavalry free. I'm going to charge into his general's bodyguard, which is going to be good for me. If I were him, I would turn around more troops, deal with this threat immediately. But again, if he peels off more guys than he needs to, I'm going to have cavalry ready, infantry ready. I'm preparing myself for a massive assault. My guys over on this flank are starting to tear into his line infantry, so I'm doing a good job of turning back this flank. I really want to seize the woods. Ah, here we go. Reinforcing with regiment of horse. And that'll probably clean up my guys. The general is still here, though. Hopefully we should be able to kill him. I'm not sure. Oh, one of my guys is closing in. See a couple of them. Come on, come on. I think we did 1 hit point right there. 2. I actually don't know how hit points work. He may have counted as blocking that. Hopefully we can kill the general. I actually can't remember what happened in this battle, so it's as much a surprise to me as it is to you. Oh, come on. Come on, look right. I mean, look left. Really hoping something happens here. Oh, we've done so much damage. Come on. Oh. No, that's on the other side of the battlefield. Damn it. Hopefully we can clean up the second guy. No, my guy's routed. Dang. So close. Anyways, what you've been missing in the front is I'm trying to send an assault. I realize, oh shit, this is not going to go well. He has green jackets intermixed with his artillery. A pretty interesting move. I never would have thought to intersperse guys like this. I would have thought friendly fire would kill your own men. But it's a pretty good way to guard your cannons. I'm going to send cavalry straight up to the center between volleys, charging his cannons. So I want to knock these guys out as soon as possible. His green jackets are going to get hit in the mix. Like I said, it's kind of one of the downsides of having your guys like this. Regiment of horse is going to countercharge. My guys are going to be pretty much broken by that, but I thought it was worth it to silence the guns and allow me to reposition my forces, get more reinforcements into the mix. 24-pounder. I killed only 10 of them, so hopefully my enemy forgets to put them back on the guns, but they should have enough men left to man it. And he's continuing to do damage to my forces. I'm slowly starting to seize the woods here, but it's slow and steady. Not quite sure what's going to happen. The Russian force is still, I don't know what he's doing. He really needs to send reinforcements my way. I could really use another army right now because I'm facing a pretty good bottleneck set up by my opponent. I'm going to start pulling guys back slowly. I realize my ally is far away. I don't want to straight up lose this fight, so I'm actually going to disengage because I wasn't able to take out his artillery. So I figured I'm going to pull back. He's actually sending more regiment of horse, which could threaten my line, so I'm going to pull back and sort of only secure ground over here where I do have a pretty good foothold in the woods. Go ahead and fast forward this. Gonna bring in my general just to try and rally my guys a little bit. And he's firmly entrenched. That artillery piece, the second one, okay, he's actually manning it. I was hoping he wouldn't be. But yeah, mortar is doing damage to my guys. Not too much damage. But in the woods I should be, yeah, I'm chipping away slowly at his lines. And here comes the Russian force in the distance, finally coming to close the gap. He is slowly but surely starting to rout some of my rifles at a distance. He's going to charge forward with his line infantry there. In the woods, I'm going to fall back. No need to waste my guys there. I'm going to form up into square. take on his 2 regiment of horse. I've got more guys back here putting on the volleys, so he's wasting his regiment of horse. Good for me. So I'm able to rout them. At least one of them is going to be broken. The other one is going to be steady. And I'm slowly starting to chip away at the line. So my guys in the woods, I'm glad I seized that position. He's going to decide to slowly pull back his 24-pounders, seeing that the Russian force is here to reinforce. Green Jackets are doing damage to me. I'm going to pull back, just keep taking pot shots at his men. And then I realize, okay, time for the push. Russia is just going straight up. So what we're going to do at this point is start to push back. And our opponents are pulling back with all their men. He's going to try and do a staggered defense where he turns Green Jackets around. But then he got chickened out by my guys closing in on him. He's falling back to a defensive position of 4-inch mortar batteries. And over here I was trying to maybe flank, but he does have hidden rifles right there. And now we're going to exchange fire with his men and put this on play. I'm targeting his Green Jackets. I know those guys are probably more important than the line infantry. We can deal with those guys from a distance. So routing the weaker units first. I'm going to send in my Palestinian auxiliaries. I just wanted them to catch up with these artillery. He's very judiciously guarding these guys. Doing a lot here to defend them. And then all of a sudden, as we start to get close, we realize, oh no, Puckle guns. Puckle guns again. So they're going to be tearing into the Russian front. Just wanted to watch a little bit of the fire. Looks like he has 2 batteries of Puckle guns. And as we saw in that last battle, or one of the battles with Empire, maybe I haven't really seen it. I don't know the order that I release these videos. But in another battle, basically the same thing happened where my ally was charging straight up into Puckle guns, and it didn't end well, which seems to be exactly what the Russians are doing. So it's kind of up to me to bring up my forces, tie up his men, and clean those men up. There you go, Puckle guns, mortars, everything being thrown into the Russian mob. Thank God Russians are big in numbers, because otherwise this would be bad for us. Cavalry going to be engaged in the front lines. Actually, the Cossacks are going to get some shots on them first. Puckle guns, just... Who are they firing at? I think they're firing at this mob here. So at least they're not super accurate. Man, if they were more like the Gatling guns of the Shogun 2 game, Fall of the Samurai, oh my god, we would be dead so quick. But I am doing work with my guys. Basically, I'm allowing Russia to be the big distraction. And then I'm going to move up my forces to try and pick off at the British forces. Where are these rifles? I'm still waiting. I have my general. I'm waiting to push here. I know he has the rifles, so I'm just waiting for the right moment to strike. Here comes the Cossacks. Not the units you want leading your assault. These guys are very, very poor in morale and stats. And so they're all going to be trying to fight this line infantry, who is taking pretty significant damage, actually, despite the inefficiencies of the Russian assault. They're high in numbers, so... Take a look at the depth of that force coming at him. So pretty scary sight for these troops. And if they can rout the front of the column, let the Puckle guns do more damage, they should be okay. However, the Russian Jaegers at a distance, you can see them starting... Oh, these are Coldstream Guards, cool. But yeah, you can see the Jaegers at a distance starting to pick these guys apart. Platoon fire is coming down. And they're slowly dwindling in number. I did commit my line infantry. I seem to be the only ones doing good, nice line fire. The rest of these guys somehow firing behind their own men. And there you go. There's the light infantry over there, like I was saying. He's going to be pulling out, and that's where I'm going to send my general and Nizamicherit rifles to pursue. Puckle guns are going to... I think he repositioned them to get... Oh no, he's going to... What are they doing here? Are they reloading, or is he... Oh, okay, no, okay, shit. Yeah, they are reloading. I wasn't sure if he was putting them back on their mounts. Holy crap. Okay, they're going to start tearing into this Russian force. Yeah, it already shattered Cossack infantry at this point-blank range. Yeah, look at it. It's tearing into these lines. So line after line, here come the Russians. Where are those shots going? Oh, he's targeting my men, actually. It's going to start to ping. If I were him, I would target this blob, for sure. We did clean up the line infantry. That means there's almost nothing left here. I am going to be charging forward, sacrificing, again, Palestinian auxiliaries, perhaps being the most valuable unit in this game, soaking up fire the entirety of the fight, allowing my rifles to now close. And I'm on fire at will, so we should be able to get a nice haul against the British. Coldstream Guards. Wow, that is not something you want to throw away like this. He's charging forward, and there I just basically took out, you know, a third of his unit. I'm going to be forced to reload. I'm going to take this assault in square formation. Probably the best way to counter melee. It just slows it down tremendously. And then I'm going to form these guys up into a line to try and get some shots on his men as they try and close on my square. The problem is, just as I'm about to fire a volley, my guys are going to realize, oh, we're out of ammo. And then we're going to have to charge them in. It's a little gimmick where you'll see they're going to raise their guns to fire, and then they run out of ammo. It's weird. Anyways, this Russian force is melting away. It's melting away. Puckle guns continue to do work. Plus the rifles over here. You see a lot of the shots going wide, but I think there's just so many shots that they end up just picking at units here and there. And the Russian force is engaging in a very unorthodox, perhaps the least effective way to fight. Captain the front, and then first two guys firing. The rest of them kind of waiting in line to fire. Interesting Russian tactics here. More guys in line formation. I mean, it does look glorious. Oh, there goes the drummer. Next, the flag bearer. This is so weird. I've never seen units charge in column like this. Very interesting stuff. So there he goes. That is clearly an attack order given. My guys are, meanwhile, over here disengaged. I'm kind of trying to pick off his general. I got a couple of them. I'm going to be forced to recommit to the fight when I see that. Oh god, what are you doing? And the Puckle guns have successfully routed another column. So this is like almost a tower defense fight. Holy crap. Just taking apart these Russians. This is such a funny formation. I have never seen this. This is so goofy. He's shooting at the wrong target. Shoot at this blob. I really actually want to see that blob get fired on. There we go. It looks like actually some of the shots are starting to pick those guys apart. He throws a line infantry in there just to tie down this blob. But thankfully my guys are here to spoil the fun. I'm going to clean him up from the side. Holy crap. Man, I've been having a string of just terrible allies this game. But we pulled it off, it seems like. In a 2 versus 1, or 3 against 2, the 2 actually pulled it off somehow. And competencies all around. Russian general finally going to commit himself, going to take out the 4-inch mortars. And I'm going to go in here to silence these guns. Otherwise, if I hadn't been here, he may have won this fight. This line infantry is confident. It's holding strong. More artillery probably could have finished this off. And look at this. More green jackets could have turned against him had I not been here. But I am going to clean that up with my general. And then try and come in here to clean up these Puckle guns. Enemy general did try and attack my guys here. Form them up in the square. That should be enough to throw them back. I'm not quite sure. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. No, I didn't want to see that. So that's weird. I just wanted to see if I had killed the enemy general, because it seems like, I mean, that's clearly not a general unit. That's clearly not a general. So where is the general? I figured he would have died. But anyways, here I come. I'm going to make these Puckle guns finally shut up. They've had enough fun shooting at straight up targets most of the time. Looks like the Russian general actually was killed fighting against these guys. The regiment of horse actually committed itself to that fight. And here come my guys. There we go. Puckle guns. Your reign has ended. There you go. Pretty fun fight. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I definitely did, despite the little gimmicks in terms of quality of the allies. It makes, as I always say, for fun battles. And I think the Gatling plays that we've been saying a lot of the time is really fun against incompetent players. And especially, I really like the use of these guns. I hope to be able to use maybe the organ gun in the future. Maybe in a siege. It's probably way more powerful in a siege. Yeah, actually the Russian player outdoing me in the number of kills he got. I'm not quite sure how that happened. Maybe because he basically destroyed this British force with ease. Yeah. Wait, what? I have more losses than him? Weird. Okay, I thought I outplayed him. Anyways, the opponent's clearly not doing very well. Only the last player, Alex, getting almost 1,000 kills over here. So, fun battle. I hope to see you guys in the next one. I will see you soon. Let's take a look at the most kills. Nizami Jadid getting the most kills. Oregon Guns, 54 kills. That's alright. This guy's only 23. So, I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.